Chaos and terror in Lebanon's capital. An Ottawa man describes being in Beirut near a building that was destroyed during an Israeli airstrike, killing at least 10 people. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. We begin in the Middle East, where the spillover from the war in Iran is intensifying in Lebanon. An Ottawa man is among the Canadians trying to flee the country as Israel escalates its ground attacks and airstrikes. Israeli forces leveled a 10-story apartment building in Beirut about an hour after issuing an evacuation notice. Israel claimed the building was being used by the Iran-backed Hezbollah militant group. No warnings were issued in advance of strikes on other buildings. Lebanese officials say at least 10 people were killed in the Israeli airstrikes, which were among the most intense in the capital in decades. Ottawa man Ahmad Araji is in Beirut. He describes the terrifying moments in a nearby hotel when the attack happened.
It was devastating, like having the front desk in my hotel and security knock on every single door, telling us to evacuate, going down, people on the streets running, screaming. It was intense. That's the least to say. It was very scary.
Araji is in Lebanon doing humanitarian work. He says his family back here in Ottawa has been extremely worried for his safety. After this recent attack, Araji says he has started the process of trying to get a flight back home as the situation in Lebanon is getting worse. And the war in the Middle East is continuing to drive up gas prices across Canada and here in the National Capital Region. Prices were hovering between $1.67 and $1.70 a liter for regular at many stations in Ottawa today. In Gatineau, they're even higher at around $1.72. But you may want to fill up tonight. Prices are expected to increase by another 3 cents overnight. Before the war began in late February, prices were around $1.30 a liter for regular here in Ottawa. A warning tonight about a taxi scam that is on the rise. Scammers posing as drivers and customers using distraction and split-second decisions to get access to your banking information. Police believe Ottawa is now a hot spot to target. CTV's Leah LaRocque is here in studio with us with more. Leah.
Well, Stefan, police say that people are being targeted around the U Ottawa and Carleton University campuses, as well as other places with busy foot traffic like Walmarts or shopping centers like Billings Bridge. They are reminding residents to always make sure to check that you are getting into a legitimate and licensed cab. This is how the latest taxi scam works. Fake taxis and customers approach people asking for help to pay a cab fare, offering cash in exchange for using your debit card. But that's where the scam is happening. They quickly swap your bank card with a fake, and they gain access to your PIN and your money. Here's Detective Sean Wabe saying it can happen very quickly.
You punch in your PIN, they give you a different debit card that matches your bank, trying to fool you. Once you leave, they go right to a bank and start withdrawing money. They've trapped your PIN number in their machine, and they have your legitimate card, so they can hurry up and withdraw quite a bit of cash.
Police are reminding residents that every legitimate cab will always have a roof sign, an ID number, and a taxi plate, and they will always accept cash as payment. Police say they are targeting other cities. Kingston Police just sent out a warning about taxi scams around the Queen's University area. The taxi company says that taxis always accept cash and that Stefan transactions should never happen outside of the vehicle.
Yes, certainly. We have to be on the lookout for everything these days. CTV's Leah LaRocque reporting live for us. Thank you, Leah. The trial for the Ottawa pair accused of killing a 7-week-old baby continued today. Baravi Booth, the baby's mother, and her former boyfriend, Patrick O'Connor, are charged with second-degree murder. Both have pleaded not guilty. Court heard testimony today from a police officer who has secured the scene and another who observed Booth at the hospital following the baby's death in October of 2021. The jury is also expected to hear testimony about the baby's injuries from a forensic pathologist. The trial is expected to last 8 weeks. The Bank of Canada is maintaining its key rate at 2.25%. The central bank says the war in the Middle East has increased volatility in global energy prices and financial markets.
The Canadian economy continues to face heightened uncertainty related to U.S. trade policy and geopolitical risks. Now the war in Iran has added a new layer of uncertainty. Its impact on the global and Canadian economies will depend on how long the conflict lasts and the extent to which it spreads across the Middle East.
The Bank of Canada will make its next interest rate decision at the end of April and also put out a more detailed economic outlook for the country. Well, from coffee counters to convenience stores, tipping prompts are popping up everywhere. And many customers say the expectation to tip has gone too far. A new survey by H&R Block says enough is enough when it comes to tipping in Canada. 2/3 of Canadians want to do away with the practice altogether.
I think it should be included in the price. You shouldn't be asked to tip.
Just because you're doing your job doesn't mean you need to be tipped for doing your job.
I used to love tipping extra for really good service, and I feel like that's kind of gone away now.
The survey also finds nearly 9 out of 10 people say they resent businesses that ask for tips at places where they don't feel tipping is necessary. And 4 out of 10 people have changed where they spend their money, saying they avoid going places that ask for a tip at the register, like fast food restaurants, bakeries, or self-serve counters. It has been a winter of cool weather and lots of snow, perfect for those who love the season, and ski hills sure do. Despite some patches of heavy rain and warm weather, every local ski hill remains open over the March break. CTV's Tyler Fleming is at Camp Fortune and on the slopes.
Yeah, check out this beautiful weather. I'm at Camp Fortune. The hills are perfect, and I can tell you right now, everyone I've talked to today says it's been an absolute banner season.
It's a perfect day for skiing.
It's been a lot of nice bluebird days and great conditions on the hill.
Best time to go skiing.
It's good to get kids outdoors, off the video games.
It's been an awesome season. Great snow, hardly any rain at all to mention. The groomers took care of everything. Great year.
Every ski hill in the region is going to be opened definitely for this week. Expect beautiful conditions like this. Check this out. Groom trails, the rain has done nothing. The snow is perfect, the sun is out, beautiful weather. Gotta get out here and give it a try.
Not your typical Ottawa house, like I mentioned before, more of a South Beach vibe.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, we'll take you inside the most expensive home for sale in the capital right now. A custom-built residence pulling out all the stops. And our Jackie Pears is joining us in studio for our first check on the forecast, Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. We are anticipating some light flurries moving through. You don't see any right now here in downtown Ottawa. Temperatures sitting around -4 degrees really throughout much of eastern Ontario. So it has warmed up quite a bit from the cold weather we've had from the last few days. Overnight, -6. Again, the chance of flurries moving through into tomorrow morning. The daytime high will be 2 degrees. Here's a closer look at when we can anticipate the flurries moving through. We might see a little something Thursday early morning, but by the time we get to the noon hour, that's when we'll start to see more moving through most of eastern Ontario, including some isolated showers close to Renfrew as well as Ottawa and Kingston. We'll get a closer look at your forecast in just a bit, but for now, we'll take it back to you, Stefan.
Thank you, Jackie. Here's what you need to know. Experience skating on the Ottawa Senators' home ice this week at the Canadian Tire Centre. The rink will be open for March break public skating sessions until March 20th. You can book at a time slot and buy tickets on their website. Now for a live check on your March break traffic. Still fairly light on this Wednesday, but we are seeing some slowdowns in the westbound lanes that start at Parkdale, continue through Churchill towards Woodruff as well. You're watching CTV News at 5. Welcome back to CTV News at 5. If you're just joining us, we shared the results of a new survey on tipping. It finds Canadians are growing increasingly tired of tipping culture in this country, and nearly 90% of those surveyed said they resent businesses that prompt unwarranted tips, and some even actively avoid businesses that have tip prompts on their debit and credit machines. Today's radio question of the day is asking, are you tired of tipping?
There's no place for tipping anywhere but in those services that are, number one, considered an art form, and number two, are performed to the utmost of their ability. If you are flipping burgers at a fast food joint, that's great, but you've got your hourly wage, and that's it, my friend.
Kirsty Cameron is here with more. Kirsty, I know you didn't ask me, but yes, the answer is yes.
Well, and I think you're in the majority, right? Because the context here is that you're not just being prompted to tip when you go get your hair done or your nails done or when you go to a bar or restaurant. People are getting tipping resentment or fatigue in a myriad of places, okay? Getting your oil changed, picking your dog up from the pet boarding place. One person said at the dermatologist.
Oh my.
Another person said at fast food joints, and apparently even some self-serve kiosks. People are tipped out. It's also the amount. The default tip percentage has gone up. Restaurants Canada was on my show today, and they suggest starting the tipping option on one of those little digital machines at 15%. But you know, Steph, anecdotally, I rarely see that. I often see that it begins at 18 or 20%.
Yeah, I've even seen 22%. It was not even, numbers that we're used to anymore. But did I hear you correctly? Self-serve kiosks?
I've never seen it. People claim they've seen it, and they post about it on TikTok. Here's my rule of thumb, okay? And even for grab-and-go food. If I scan it or I grab it, I'm not tipping for it. And I consider myself to be quite generous, but that's the thing. I think there's some psychology at play here, because when you choose to tip, it is because you think the service is worthy of a good tip. Whereas, when they kind of turn that little digital kiosk to you or the credit machine and the prompt is there, there's a lot of shame.
Certainly.
Like if I go with the lower option, I'm a bad person now.
Yeah, no, no one wants to feel guilty.
Yeah, I think it has
this.
backfired in a way.
Sure. Thank you, Christy. You can join the conversation and leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Kirsty Cameron on Newstalk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6, and now watch her on YouTube anytime. Subscribe to the Newstalk 580 CFRA channel. Well, a new home for sale in Ottawa's Rothwell Heights neighborhood is priced to become the most expensive house ever sold in the city. This showstopper is currently for sale at 1 DeLong Drive in Ottawa's East End. The 5,000 square foot house is listed at just under $10 million. The home has 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a home, gym, cinema, room, sports court, golf simulator, 3-story chandelier, and room to park 16 cars. The listing agent for the property says he expects the buyer will come from outside Ottawa.
And really, if you're from a more expensive city, this price tag for this lifestyle actually seems like a great deal. From what I'm hearing from bigger cities is also safety is a factor. This is a great place to raise your kids. So if you have the money, and in this day and age you could work from anywhere.
The home also features custom artwork throughout, a wine cellar, sauna, and floor-to-ceiling fireplace. If sold at the current listed price, it would become Ottawa's most expensive home to date.
The province is not adequately and consistently funding this sector.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, reaction from the Ottawa Festival Network over the Ford government's recent plan to allow people to bring their own alcohol to some outdoor public events. Here's what you need to know. Sing, dance, and celebrate the music of iconic Swedish pop group ABBA. SOS, the ABBA Experience, is coming to the Algonquin Commons Theatre this Saturday. Visit the venue's website for tickets. The show starts at 7:30 p.m. Here's another live check on traffic. Taking a look at Nicholas, things are moving well in both directions this hour. And we know that, again, it is quite light due to the March break. We'll be right back. Coming up tonight on CTV after the news, E-Talk starts at 7, followed by an episode of Scrubs, The Masked Singer, Fear Factor, House of Fear, and Shark Tank at 10 before your national news at 11. After multiple days of cold, wintry weather, things are expected to warm up by the weekend. Finally, with another check on the weather, Jackie's joining us live in studio tonight. This is welcome weather news, Jackie, for me.
I mean, when you hear the temperatures, is it going to be welcome news? We are just getting above the freezing mark. No double digits on the plus side, but despite the light rain and the snow showers, should say, to wrap up the week, the temperatures are continuing to rise. And yes, it will be above the freezing mark. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. It is -5 degrees right now, showcasing Parliament Hill. We did see a lot of sunshine earlier this morning, but that's since disappeared. We have mainly cloudy skies that will take us into this evening. -4. There is a slight chance we could see some flurries moving through, and the winds are coming from the south, so it's warming things up. -5 is going to be the overnight, and tomorrow morning we are starting things off at -4, but we are getting to a daytime high of 2 degrees. And this is where it gets a little tricky because we will see a chance of flurries moving throughout the day. But by the evening, this could flip into some light showers moving through. It shouldn't linger very long, though, but keep an eye out for this. -5 in the valley for our overnight. Chance of flurries will continue into tomorrow morning. Daytime high 3 degrees. And as we look towards the Seaway, we're going down to about -5 and 2 degrees the daytime high. So really throughout eastern Ontario, we're averaging around 2-3 degrees for our Thursday. And here's a closer look at what we can anticipate the flurries moving through. We may see some in the valley, flurries around midnight, and then around 7 a.m. it should be just above Ottawa and maybe parts of Cornwall and Hawkesbury. It's in the afternoon, early evening that we could start to see, especially by Ottawa and the Kingston area, a mix of freezing rain as well as rain mixed in with the flurries. And it is going to move very quickly, but it is Friday that we want to keep an eye out for. Friday afternoon in particular, that's when we will likely see greater chance of flurries moving through. And south of Kingston, we could see a mix of freezing rain as well. Taking a closer look now at the next 5 days. For the first day of spring, 2 degrees the daytime high. And yes, the trend is warming up. 4 degrees for Saturday, 6 degrees for Sunday.
Weather is brought to you by Manotick Tree. Complete tree care from start to stump.
All right, Stefan, I don't know how you feel about this. So 6 degrees is going to be the warmest we're going to get for the weekend. This is a warmer temperature than the -15 that we saw earlier this week.
Well, I'll tell you how I'm feeling about it. I feel like we're getting there, Jackie.
We're getting there.
Slow and steady wins that race. Thank you. Here's a look at the stories you're checking out right now on CTV News Ottawa.ca. If you go to our homepage at the moment, you just scroll down a little bit here. Let me get back to my homepage and take you where I want you to go. And there's an article about OC Transpo and the number of bus cancellations and which routes had the highest. Now, as you can imagine, the data obtained by our digital content team for CTV News Ottawa.ca found that the routes serving the corridor between Tunney's and Blair probably had the highest, route number 12 in particular. And if you think about the buses they're having to use to replace the LRT when it's down, that makes complete sense. But all the details and all the information on our website. Coming up for us here on CTV News at 5. Speed cameras may no longer be operational in Ottawa, but red light cameras are, and they are nabbing plenty of drivers. Here's what you need to know. The Ottawa Home and Garden Show will be at the EY Centre this Thursday through Sunday. Ask your home improvement and renovation questions and get inspired. Visit their website for tickets. If you need gas, one of today's cheapest gas prices can be found at the McEwen Station on Fallowfield Road in Barrhaven. Regular gas there tonight is going for 159.6 cents a litre. Here's another live check on traffic. Again, Riverside moving well in both directions. Nicholas is flowing well. If you are westbound this evening, you're going to notice the biggest slowdown starting to pick up around Parkdale and probably last out to Woodruff. Again, those are the westbound lanes of the 417. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The current temperature, -5. And it's time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
People on the streets running, screaming. It was intense. That's the least to say. It was very scary.
We hear from an Ottawa man who was trying to flee the Lebanese capital of Beirut following an Israeli attack that leveled a building, killing multiple people.
You punch in your PIN, they give you a different debit card that matches your bank, trying to fool you. Once you leave, they go right to a bank and start withdrawing money.
Ottawa police are sounding the alarm over new reports of a taxi scam operating in the city involving fake taxis and theft of people's credit and debit cards. Police are looking for suspects.
It's a perfect day for skiing.
And coming to the end of a great winter for snow and ski lovers, with ski season still going strong over March break at hills throughout the region. All of that and more coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Amanda Lang at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following today. Reaction continues after the Ford government announced plans to allow people to bring their own alcohol to some cultural events and public gatherings.
The province is not adequately and consistently funding this sector.
The Ottawa Festival Network says the decision came as a surprise, and what they really want to see is more support from the government to keep Ottawa's festival scene alive. It adds its members are also still trying to figure out what the province's BYOB plan means for them. The City of Ottawa saw an uptick in the number of drivers caught running red lights at intersections during the month of January. City statistics show slightly more than 3,500 tickets were issued through red light cameras in January, up from around 2,800 tickets during the same month the year before. Ottawa has 85 red light cameras across the city. The busiest one is on King Edward Avenue northbound at St. Andrew. Fewer U.S. travelers are passing through the Ottawa airport so far this year. New data shows fewer passengers coming from or going to the United States are passing through the Ottawa airport compared to 2025. The Ottawa airport says it's seeing an increase in travelers flying to Europe and other international destinations.
Back at the point, helped by Spence, back across, Siddle shoots, scores!
It is game day for the Ottawa Senators. The team is on the road tonight, taking on the Capitals in Washington. The Sens are hoping to keep the winning streak alive after 2 back-to-back wins at home over the weekend. Puck drop tonight is at 7:30. The Sens come back home tomorrow to host the New York Islanders at the CTC.
Leslie, in for backup, drop pass, Leslie shoots and scores!
And the Ottawa Charge are also on the road tonight, taking on the Minnesota Frost. The Charge are coming off an overtime win against the Vancouver Golden Knights on Saturday. Puck drop tonight is at 7 p.m. our time. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Be sure to join Patricia Bull for CTV News at 6. The early edition of CTV National News starts right now. Thanks for watching.